We're going to be talking about these turbo liars.
I like this. Where were you going for there with the turbo liar?
You know, you can lie.
Yes.
But to tell a turbo lie,
I like
it's
turbo
like turbocharged.
lie.
It's like, you know what I'm saying?
I like what you've done. So this guy is turbo liar, and she is too.
Yeah, we're going to start with her.
It's less about the people, by the way, guys. I want you to have this in the back of your head the whole time. It's more about this is definitely a Chinese government psyop.
So I'm sure many of you guys have seen these videos already. So we decided, let's look at these. They're going viral. Okay, let's see what's being said here. So let's look at Rosie the turbo liar.
Okay.
First.
Who are the suppliers behind the Lululemon? Number 1, Xianglong Apparel, who supplies the most yoga suits, and it is also the OEM for Fila and Under Armour.
What did you have there?
Number 2, Hong Qisheng.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to make that point later.
Okay.
So we'll go back to it. So let's just first look at her. We'll go back to that.
Sorry.
Clothing, who produces yoga suits for Lululemon.
Really?
Okay, so for those of you who didn't catch what she said, she was this Xianghong or Xianglong, I can't remember the first one. She names 2 factories, and she says that they make the Lululemon stuff.
And why would she say that?
Because she's a liar.
Yeah, but why would she say that?
Because
we have to let everyone know why these videos are coming out.
It's so that people think that they're being ripped off by these luxury brands and that they could buy directly from there rather.
Yeah, they're insinuating these accounts all over TikTok, by the way, which are getting hundreds of millions of views and likes, are going out and saying that stuff that you want from nice brands is actually all made in China, and they're marking it up exorbitantly, and you can just buy directly from them because they're going to spill the beans. So what happened was China made this law where it's now legal to basically take any foreign brand in China that operates and can make counterfeits legal, basically.
Well, they've always been making counterfeits from the get-go.
Right, but they're being blatant about it, and they're fire hosing it into the Western social media sphere.
Yeah.
So right now, what they're trying to do is get these influencers to say, actually, you need us for everything that you buy, we make, and we're going to sell it to you at cost, basically.
Okay, what I want us to do quickly is let's take some notes quickly.
Sure.
Let's not get lost in the sauce here, guys.
I just wanted you to know why.
For sure, let's take some notes. Okay.
Who are the suppliers behind the Lululemon? Number 1, Xianglong Apparel.
Okay, remember that name, Xianglong Apparel. This is very important, guys. Xianglong Apparel. Okay, that's number 1.
Who supplies the most yoga suits, and it is also the OEM for Fila and Under Armour. Number 2, Hong Qisheng Clothing.
And then Hong Qisheng Clothing. Obviously, she means clothing.
I like clothing.
Yeah, okay.
I do like
so
that.
we've got Xianglong and Hong Qisheng.
Hong
Qisheng, sorry, red flag.
Who produces yoga suits for Lululemon.
Yogurt suits?
Really?
So here's the thing. A representative from Lululemon clarified that only about 3% of its final products are manufactured in China, and the company provides a full list of authorized suppliers on its website. So we went to find the suppliers.
And we did.
And the Xianglong and the Hong Qisheng do not exist in this list.
They exist as companies, but Lululemon doesn't use them.
No, Lululemon is very transparent when it comes to where it gets all of its stuff from.
So are a lot of Western companies.
Yeah, you can go back and freeze frame and look through all these if you want. And there's a link down below. But none of those factories that she mentioned are any way connected to Lululemon. That's a lie. Okay, but it gets worse. Listen.
Lululemon sells this jacket for nearly $100, but here only costs you $6 to $5 with similar fabric and quality. If you want
similar fabric and quality.
I like this. She sounds like she's from Alabama. It's very interesting. $5.
Okay, anyway.
Yes.
to get in touch with suitable sportswear supplier, contact with me. I'm Rosie from Yiwu, China. Lululemon sells this jacket for...
Okay, so she pulls up a jacket. She's like, Lululemon sells this jacket for $100. The label, I can't make it out, but it's definitely not Lululemon, okay? But then we went onto Lululemon's website, to the sportswear thing, to the jackets. We went through all of them, okay? Could not find this jacket.
No.
Not only that, look at the zipper that Lululemon uses compared to the zipper on that jacket.
So Rosie is saying, why would you buy this $100 jacket? We make it here, right? In these factories. They don't make it in those factories.
No, that's a lie.
And that's not a Lululemon jacket.
It's not a Lululemon jacket. It's just a knockoff, whatever random Chinese brand. So we have proven None of the factories are Lululemon suppliers. That's from the official Lululemon website. They're very transparent.
Yep.
The jacket isn't a Lululemon jacket. This is an attempt to sell poor quality knockoffs. And Rosie is full of shit.
It's also an attempt to make the American public get very, very upset.
Do you want to see something that really made me upset?
Sure.
Take a look. I Googled something. Okay? I Googled, does Lululemon use Xianglong apparel? What is the AI answer? Yes! A TikTok user claims that Lululemon, along with Under Armour and Fila, sources clothing from the Xianglong Clothing Company and Huang Qishan Clothing in Yiwuchun.
Hong Chi-san?
Well, that was the Hong Qi.
Oh, okay.
Remember Hong Qisheng?
No, I know. It's just, why did they write it like that? Anyway.
But hang on a second here, okay? And then it goes and says, the user stated the manufacturing costs as little as $5 to $6, while Lululemon sells similar items for up to $100. And then, while Lululemon has clarified that only a small percentage of their final products are manufactured in China, about 3%, they provide a full list of authorized suppliers on the website. Why is the Google AI taking that stupid TikTok video as fact? Why is it saying yes?
This is a problem because this pertains to a lot of things you search for in China.
Yes.
It will use fake sources, Chinese government sources, all kinds of made up shit.
That's a freaking TikTok video.
I know. TikTok is now the source.
It's fake. We've proven it to you. Lululemon has a very clear, transparent list on their website that says these are the suppliers we use. That stupid Xianglong apparel is not one of them. When I say, does Lululemon use Xianglong apparel, it says yes. It doesn't say maybe, or it doesn't say a TikTok user claims. It said yes.
It says
that's
yes.
bullshit. Google, get your act together. Stop using Chinese psyop bullshit as your sources.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, seriously.
Yeah.
Anyone out there who's got any connections to Google or anything, please see if you can sort this out. This is BS.
Not just this. Whenever it uses Chinese sources, the root needs to be solved.
Correct. Here. Now, let's go back to the little splurb I had in the beginning.
What was their source?
Their source?
What was her
source is that I made it the f*** up.
Exactly that. Let's go back to the little thing that I wrote, because this will apply to the bag thing that we're going to look at in a minute too.
Yes.
Okay. Why you should never do business in China.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So just say you were Lululemon or one of these big brands, and you decide that you're going to get your product produced in China. You supply them with the machinery, you supply them with the training, you supply them with the supply chain.
Designs.
You say the designs, obviously. You're like, okay, we're going to use this leather, we're going to use this string or whatever. You tell them all this stuff. What's going to happen to you, potentially? Number one, they steal your designs always. Okay, your designs will get stolen. There will be a knockoff of it. Mm-hmm. They will disclose your manufacturing process, as you're seeing here. Like, if that was actually your factory, it wasn't in this case. But like, what we're seeing now is they're like, oh, this factory makes,
they're trying.
Fila shoes or Nike shoes.
They're trying to disrupt it.
That's trade secret stuff. That's stuff that shouldn't be public knowledge. No. Okay, they will hijack your supply chain. So they'll find out, oh, you get your quality leather from this particular place. So then they'll approach that particular place on the side so that they can take that leather and start making their own knockoffs. Mm-hmm. Okay? They will target your customers, just like this. Oh, you like Lululemon, huh? Buy my cheap shit knockoff for like less price. And they will falsely tarnish your reputation. Because what Rosie, the turbo liar, has done here is tarnish the reputation of Lululemon by lying about it. Lululemon's got nothing to do with these factories, got nothing to do with her crappy jacket that she held up.
Nope.
But 99% of people scrolling on their brain rot TikTok now think that Lululemon is selling you a $100 jacket.
We wouldn't have covered this unless that was the case. And this actually gets so much worse. There's a lot of these accounts. And I suspect this from a Chinese government source. And I'll tell you why. Yeah. This is trying to make all Americans on TikTok. Remember, Chinese government uses TikTok as a pipeline to half the country.
Why is TikTok not banned yet?
Why are we still not banning TikTok?
Exactly.
It's a pipeline for information warfare to tell Americans that all the stuff that they like isn't even real.
Yes.
It's just hardworking Chinese people and the Chinese government standing up and making all these products for you while you get ripped off by these dirty companies.
Yes.
That's what this is about. Mm-hmm. And so what I saw is the response from these people. Some of these comments that are reposting these videos, comments are getting 80,000 likes, 70,000 likes, right? On a comment that will say, I can't believe they're doing this to us. I can't believe these freaking Western companies. I'm going to go straight to the source from now on. It's China all along that's been doing everything. They come up with all this stuff, which is that's a psyop. That is a psyop.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it gets worse.
Yeah, let's move on to this annoying bag douche. Let's move on.
Douche.
Yeah.
Here's bag douche.
Yeah, here's bag douche. Okay, so that really annoyed me.
This is
Wang
worse.
Sen,
This is worse.
the turbo liar.
This Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory?
I'm pretty sure everybody's seen this particular video.
This is the one that's like
super viral.
insane.
Everybody's seen it. So he's like, this Birkin bag, you know.
From Hermes, right?
Yeah, from Hermes. We make it here. And this is how much it costs.
So he's basically saying, we make Hermes bags.
Yeah, well, he's saying this, that you will buy in the boutique. This is how much it costs, and this is how much we make it. Okay?
The cost will be 1,400 USD for one Birkin out of factory. But why Hermes will charge you 38,000 USD for one bag? That's because more than 90% of the price is paid for its logo. But if you do not care about the logo, you just want the same quality, same material, you can just buy from us.
See, that's the real thing. You just buy it from us. Never mind the fact that it's a knockoff.
They don't make Hermes bags.
No, they don't.
They lie and say they do.
Yes.
They don't.
Well, here's the thing. Rather than us rebut this, I found this particular Tanner dude who is a massive expert on luxury brands and leather. I think his main thing is leather. He's like a leather expert.
Okay. That's a good person to consult.
Well, I mean, he makes videos where he tears down like very expensive luxury bags
to
and
see the
he
quality.
checks the quality and gives his expert opinion. So he made a response video, which I think we're all going to watch together here because he can explain it better than we can.
Yeah.
All right, so let's watch this together. Oh my goodness.
So I watched the main video where the guy breaks down the cost of a Birkin.
So now to sum those up, the total cost will be 1,400 USD for one Birkin out of factory.
For a $38,000 Birkin. And this might surprise you, but his cost estimate is too high. And there are other inaccuracies in his original video. So let's break down that video and point out the accurate and inaccurate information in his video. He starts with listing the materials and the costs of it. And he shows a leather that says Togo. But the leather there, this leather, is not Togo. The second thing he says is true. The material supply chain, everything is available in China. Yes, that is true. A lot of Chinese buyers drop $500,000 on one leather shipment in European tanneries to buy real Togo to make counterfeit bags. That's true. Leather is available, but most of the counterfeits in China doesn't use that real leather. And, you know, those tanneries can't even make that much anyways. Then he says,
one piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD.
That's not true. The Togo from Weinheimer today costs about $330. On average, 22 square foot at 13 euros a foot. You do the math. He says another true thing about the stainless steel, the ocean steel hardware.
The hardware. See, for one piece of bag, the hardware will cost 150 USD.
Yes, that's the top grade hardware, and it's available in China. That's also true. But it doesn't cost $150. That's also padded. But then he adds up all these costs, saying that the total is $1,450. That sounds a bit steep to me because I was in Guangzhou last month. I've seen these top level fake Birkins that is way better than the one he's showing in the video. And they were selling at $500, made with real Togo and stainless steel. So I'm assuming his exaggeration is to sell his fakes or dupes at a 3x multiplier, leveraging a trend now. And that's kind of where the problem starts, because if you're gonna expose anything, if there's anything to expose, you better be accurate. And there's so many inaccuracies in this video that kind of makes me not to think much of this content. He also has a very accurate point where he says China has the skills and talent as well as the materials. That's absolutely true. But the problem is most of that talent is going to make fakes or dupes of these known brands. In my opinion, why not? China is producing their own designs, own brands, using these beautiful hardware, beautiful material they have, with incredible skill they have, all I know and believe, and sell that bag for $500, which is very profitable in their cost structures. Believe me, I know. But the problem is why your option should be a dupe of a classic, iconic bag from a European brand. Why not these individuals make their own creations and offer that quality at a very affordable price point under their own brand name? That's the real challenge I invite all Chinese people to take on in this trade war. I think that's the real meaning. I'm not here to judge anybody making fake bags, anybody buying or using fake bags, but here's what I think. Here's my understanding of the concept. And I think it should start with increasing the moral looseness that China has on some of these matters, because if you're going to make a video that's going to go viral and impact the world, it better be accurate, otherwise you're going to lose your credibility.
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack there, but I think he nailed it. The reason why this guy's making this stupid video is so that he can sell his knockoffs, his Hermes knockoffs, at an exaggerated price. Because one thing about China is they're very good at knocking things off, always have been. And this is a big gripe I have, because when they joined the World Trade Organization, one of the reasons they were allowed in was that they were supposed to stop that. They were supposed to put an end to counterfeiting and knocking off things, but they only increased the amount of knockoffs that they make. And when you're living in China, you'll know very well, you go to these markets, you can get like a 99% counterfeit, where something is 99% as good as the original. As far as the look's concerned, it's very difficult to tell the difference. Same with watches, which is why we've got this. Maybe you can explain what this watch is all about.
It's a perfect analogy.
When
you buy a Hermes bag or anything, any luxury item, you're buying for design, prestige, and brand heritage.
Yes.
This is a $10 Temu watch. This is a $10 Temu watch that is a knockoff of a Patek Philippe Nautilus. Okay?
How much does the real thing cost?
It's like 30 grand.
Yeah,
right.
Similar.
So this is a $10 watch. It smells literally like sulfur, right? You're not going to have a good time if you wear this and sweat.
No, it'll go.
It is the most rattly piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. Yet you can buy this in America.
Yes,
this is sent to us.
Yes,
from Poupdegar.
Yes.
And it will give you instructions like, note, it is not recommended to take a bath in hot water, sweat streaming, or any high temperatures in cold life environmental wear watch. Due to thermal expansion, cold contraction easily cause waterproof ring to lose waterproof function, water into the phenomenon of not waterproof. Poetic, isn't it? Yes. It has all the information, the address of the factory and everything. It even has like a suggested price here. It comes in a box called Fashion Watches. If you know anything about watches, which we do, you don't buy a watch because it's $10
and it looks the same
as a prestigious watch that has stood the test of time, has expert craftsmanship. This is a piece of garbage quartz trash heap that smells like sulfur. It's a perfect analogy. This is the kind of stuff that shouldn't be available.
This is what Rosie's trying to sell you instead of the Lululemon.
Selling. This is what Turbo Liar Sendbags is selling.
Yes, exactly.
They're selling counterfeits while saying they make the real thing.
Yes.
That is incredibly disingenuous.
Yes.
It's fake. It's like if the person who made this watch says, this is actually a Patek Philippe.
Yes.
Just we put Poupdegar on it.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
See, this is a bit more philosophical.
Yeah.
If you think about it. We all know that luxury brands charge a massive premium. That's just the way it is. I personally have always been against luxury stuff. For me, it's stupid, but I understand it. Okay.
Yeah, we don't like luxury goods, but
when you're buying one of those bags, the reason why you pay so much is because of the heritage. It's because of the fact that this is something that has evolved over many years, usually hundreds of years. Okay, so the way the stitching works, the double stitching that they use in Hermes bags, it's something that started out because of the way they used to make horse saddles and stuff, and it needed to be that way to be tough, so that it didn't come apart while you're riding a horse and kill you. And then just how it evolved. And the craftsmanship that went into it. And so you build this reputation. And that's what you're paying for, is you're paying for the reputation, not the materials. Because China doesn't have an equivalent. China doesn't have a luxury brand that spans hundreds of years. They just don't. It's not there. Not in these kind of things. There are other things like the tea and so on, which do have a history, which are valuable. And I mean, you could say the same thing. I could go and grow like a Wulong cha from this famous mountain in China that's been there for thousands of years or hundreds of years anyway. I can grow it in my backyard and say, look, I've got the exact same thing. Why don't you buy it from me? No, because it's not from that special spring water in that special mountain. Same as the Hermes bag, is made in France, in these places. In fact, finally, Google got this right. I said, are Hermes bags made in China? And what does it say? It says, no, Hermes bags are not made in China. They're primarily manufactured in France, with artisans working on 60 production and training sites across 11 regions, etc., etc., etc. Let's just get past this blurb. I'm surprised it didn't use sandbags and say, yes. Okay. So there have been articles that have been refuting this viral video. It says a TikTok from the account Sandbags too. By the way, this guy has tons of accounts.
Yes, and they keep getting removed.
Yeah, obviously because he's lying.
And he's selling things through TikTok shop.
He is selling counterfeit goods directly to the American consumer through TikTok. So, it had over 10 million views. But this account's already old, this article. It says they take almost finished bags from China factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, which is not true.
Not true at all.
No, it's all fake. That's absolute BS. So for the most part, the answer is no, they're not made in China. At least when it comes to the major players in the luxury fashion industry. And by the way, if this isn't a signal and a reason for you to never start to produce things in China, I don't know what is. Yeah. Luxury brands out there, take a look at what's happened here. You do not want to tarnish your brand by producing anything in China, because this is what's going to happen to you if you do. Your brand will be destroyed by
Even if you don't. If you don't.
I know. But I mean, don't deal with China. This is your 100% reason to never, ever even think about making one little piece of your thing in China. If you go and make the fishing line, in China that you use in something, you're going to get tarnished. Don't do it. So it's important to note that the luxury fashion is a broad blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it just basically says no, but there's more to this. Hermes in general, which is, of course, says Hermes, for their part, do not manufacture their bags in China. The bags are made in France, and the brand has workshops in regions including Pantene, just outside of Paris, blah, 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 all these other places. It can take between 15 and 40 hours to create a single Hermes bag. Now, you see, you're paying for this like artisan. It's the same as if you buy like a Swiss watch, but I mean like a good Swiss watch, not just when you get one of those watches that have been like hand milled, and you've got the guy using guilloche guillocheing, and he's got like 180-year-old tools that he's using to make it. You pay for that. Obviously, you can get something that's made by a machine, and it's going to be precise, and it'll be pretty good, and it'll do the job. I mean, you can go buy a Casio watch for $10 that's fine. Superior in almost every way when it comes to timekeeping than a very good handmade watch. But that's not what you're paying for. You're paying for that heritage and the artisanship. The fact that you've got a dude sitting there. Same with the Hermes bags, right? It takes 15 to 40 hours to create one, and they're in France. So you're paying for that. We actually have linked an article down below which tells you where they're made, this particular article in France. And then it's got all the, we found this video which shows that's a mock-up. That's when they're using not leather. They use some other material to do mock-ups. And it just shows you the factories where the stuff is made. And this is you pay for this brand, and they're not going to tarnish their brand by letting, old sandbags sit there and make them in his factory, his knockoff factory. You know what I mean? So again, it's just a huge lie. And the problem is TikTok has been allowed to proliferate these lies and ruin the reputations of these brands that have been around for hundreds of years.
Now, they are removing the accounts because these accounts are actually selling the products, right?
Yes.
But the fact that they were allowed to proliferate that much, and there's tons of other ones, right?
Yes.
Starts to make me think that this, in fact, is obviously guys trying to sell counterfeit bags, but it's also a psyop from the Chinese government to at least leverage content like this to fight back in this trade war, right? To show we hold all the cards.
Yes.
It's a psychological thing.
Of course. Would it surprise you that this bag douche is also a car manufacturer?
I mean, here we go.
Let's take a look.
but it's true. Volkswagen ID.7, the electric vehicle, its price in Europe is 56,900 euros. Guess how much it costs in China? 20,000 euros.
Really?
It's 30,000 euros.
So another lie. And why is he now selling cars?
I don't know, but guess what?
Because he goes on later to say, contact me directly,
Yeah.
I'll get you a car.
Exactly.
A Chinese car.
But it's not even the same car. This is the one that's sold in China is a joint venture between SAIC
And FAW,
Yeah.
which are state companies in China.
So it's a much worse car.
We also had Chinese partnership vehicles. They
Yes.
are worse quality than the original.
It's just like you had a Suzuki Swift.
Correct.
It was a Lingmu Suzuki.
It was made in China.
It was
much
cheaper.
worse.
The quality of everything
half
was
the
worse.
price.
Same as like the bikes that we
Correct.
had. So it's not the same car. This guy's just the bullshit artist, is what he is.
But it's
Nowadays.
being leveraged
Yeah.
for a reason.
Well, take a look.
Made in China means very good quality and very reasonable price. So it is a wise decision for you to buy exported electric vehicles from China. Our customers are from all over the world.
What happened to the
America,
bags?
Yeah.
Canada, Middle East, and Europe, and even Africa. Whatever you want, as long as
Even
the car is
Africa.
built
Yes.
in China.
It's
Just tell
even.
us. We can find the best quality with the best price for you.
By the way, what American customers are buying these Chinese
None.
electric cars?
None.
Because you're not allowed to.
None.
You can't import them.
They don't pass safety regulation.
Exactly.
So stop.
Guys,
You're full of shit.
Yes. This guy's a bullshit artist, guys. Honestly, this is what he does.
All these accounts are.
So he's a bag seller who says that Hermes bags are made in China real cheap and he can get you one for like $1,400, even though the factory that is making those fakes can sell them in China for like $200. You know what I mean? So he's trying to rip you off.
He's trying to rip you off with counterfeits and
Yes.
says it's the real thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now he's also selling electric cars. The guy's just
Do you see why I'm getting PSYOP vibes
Yeah.
from this? It's like leveraging viral content to be like, no, China actually is the winner in this trade war. The funny thing about all this is all these brands that they're throwing under the bus and destroying their reputation with,
Yeah, Lululemon,
Canadian,
Hermes,
French,
all these luxury brands, Italian, European.
EU stuff. That's China has a beef with America right now because of the tariffs.
Yeah.
But they're using almost every example that they're ruining the brand reputation for is European.
Yeah, it's not American brands.
What are you
They're
doing?
ruining their relationships with Europe.
It's one. At first, I got so mad at this viral campaign because I saw what kind of state media campaigns were pushing it forward. You saw the
Yeah.
amplifiers on X, which
Yes,
were direct
dude.
propagandists.
Absolutely.
Right? Work for the Chinese state. Right. This is why I'm connecting it to the state. We saw it immediately get proliferated by these accounts, right,
Yeah.
which are directly connected to the CCP. But I'm happy it happened because if anything is going to wake people the hell up,
It's going to wake up brands. Don't deal with China because this is how they pay you back. If you have a factory in China, if you produce anything in China, this on a dime is what could happen to your company. They can go out there and pretend that their knockoffs are the real thing and ruin your reputation. Steal your IP anyway, no, regardless.
how rich is this? by
Oh,
the
and this
way?
is pretty funny.
I love this.
So, yeah, let's see what he has to say.
attention. As our traffic surges, some other people are trying to imitate us. See, these are all fake accounts.
He's mad at fake accounts.
So because lots like he's now pissed off that
He's
people are
getting ripped
knocking
off.
off his
He's
account.
getting knocked off by other Chinese accounts,
Yeah,
which are trying to do what he is.
yeah. That's you
To sell
deserve
to
that.
sell their counterfeits.
Yes.
No, his counterfeits are best.
Yeah. So now these other people are best leather bags.
My favorite thing is that the guy earlier that works in the bag industry
Yes.
said that his fakes aren't even that good.
Yes.
So now he's getting mad that other people are selling their fakes.
Do you see what this is? This is just China trying to sell you cheap knockoff garbage.
Yep.
If you buy a bag from any of these people, you're an idiot. And
Yes.
you're going to always feel that twinge of shame if you do get this bag walking around pretending like you have a Hermes bag when you actually just have a crappy Yiwu knockoff.
And you got ripped off.
It literally should be called
You
Golden
also got-
China Send Bag Liar,
Fake.
thief, fake theft
This
bag.
is the Thief 2?
Yes,
Model 2?
exactly. Yeah. Look at me. It's kind of like these people that buy like a base model Firebird or something, and then they put the decals and stuff on it to pretend it's a real Trans Am. You know what I mean? Actually, even worse. It's like someone who buys an old Toyota and tries to put like a Firebird on the hood and say it's a Trans Am. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want the real thing, get the real thing.
Or don't get it.
If you cannot afford the real thing
Then
because
don't.
it's stupid expensive like this luxury things, then don't get it. You know? I'm sorry, but that's just the way life is. I can't afford it.
Neither can
I'm
I.
never going to buy a freaking Hermes bag.
I'll never have a Patek Philippe
No.
Nautilus. I
No.
like the watch.
Of course.
But I can't have it. And this will also go in the garbage.
Yes.
Thank you for the person that sent it to us.
Yeah, they
as an
sent it to us
example.
as a prop, and sorry, we're not keeping that. It's against our morals.
Yes.
That thing is trash.
Oh, it's absolute. It smells like sulfur.
Yeah, it does. Anyway,
Okay.
let's see.
And
Deaf douchebag
currently, we
liar.
only have this one account where you see me talking here is the genuine account. Okay. Keep your eyes peeled and don't be deceived.
That's so rich.
Don't be deceived. Your deception
so
is your livelihood.
Rich.
You are a thief. You are a liar. You are a cheat. That's what you are. What's the guy's name? Wang Sen?
Yeah.
Wang
I
Sen?
think you mean bullshit.
Talking here
Yeah, bullshit
is the
merchant,
genuine
fake liar
account,
lord. I may have
okay?
changed that.
Keep your eyes peeled and
Wang Sen, you've been busted, boy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
By a lot of people at
Yes,
this point.
you
Yeah.
piece of shit. You liar. Get the hell out of here. You are making China look bad.
Many auto parts in my factory. If you need auto parts, you can find me. Very models engines in my warehouse. They are very beautiful and very low melody. Very models engines in my factory. They are very complete and good quality. Very models engines in my warehouse. They are very beautiful and very complete. Many engines in my factory. Good engine in my factory.
I wish she wouldn't say that slur.
I know.
In my factory.
You know?
Yeah.
In my factory.
Can you pause there real quick?
Sure.
This is the reality
This
of
is
China's
reality.
economy.
Yeah.
It's chop shops that not only steal cars, but they'll buy them that have been totaled abroad,
Yeah.
part them out, and then resell the engines back to the country. This is the reality of China's economy.
Yep.
This is like what actually happens. We've seen this everywhere,
Yeah. The way she says factory, though, dude.
and it's not good.
No, it sounds like something else.
Gotta work on that.
Yeah,
Gotta work on
totally. Yeah.
This is another instance of these accounts trying to sell things to
Yes.
Americans now, which is interesting. They're really trying to combat this trade war thing, right?
By the way, tariffs are there for a reason.
Yes.
Okay. TikTok should not be allowed to sell direct knockoff, counterfeit, fake, illegal goods to the American consumer.
Yeah.
TikTok should not be allowed.
TikTok was supposed to be banned.
Yes.
Where are we at with it? Because and I hate to be an alarmist, but every day that TikTok's allowed to stay open, because it's owned by China, right?
Yes.
They can do everything. It's when I said it's a direct information pipeline for warfare from China to prep the American public that in case we get into conflict someday, the American public will not support their own country.
Yes.
They're doing this right now. They're doing it through the trade war. They're doing it through influencers. They're doing it through the red note migration thing. We're watching it unfold. It's right now.
Look at how it changed the Google AI to say that, yes, Lululemon uses that stupid
Did you put those comments in there?
No, I forgot.
Yeah,
sorry.
but that's
We'll
these
bring that up.
comments, tens of thousands of likes being pushed that are believing everything here, right? So they're manipulating the American public, yet we're still in a situation now where TikTok isn't banned. So every day that TikTok's allowed is another day that China pumps millions of dollars into information warfare to get into Americans' heads. Every day.
This wishy-washy approach that the current government has towards TikTok is pissing me off. Make up your mind. Seriously, you know it's bad for you. Stop screwing around. Stop it. It's bad. It's like a drug addict that's like, pretending to quit, but at the same time, like mainlining heroin.
Yeah, seriously.
It's like, oh, don't worry, I'm recovering.
They wrap the syringe in tape. So
yeah, exactly. It's like
a brown paper bag with liquor.
Exactly right. Yeah.
No, I'm serious. It was bipartisan voted on to be banned.
Get rid of it.
It was already supposed to be banned. It has now been extended twice now.
Yeah.
I fail to understand how the law is not being upheld.
Yes.
Because now we have to deal with shit like this. which is usurping the efforts of the trade war and tariffs.
Yes.
This is actually being used as information warfare to not make the tariffs work. Do you see how this works?
Yes.
It has to go away.
Yeah, you know what this is? This a country of laws or a country of...
in my factory.
Stop. Get out of here. All right, let's keep moving. Factory. Just said factory.
Sure, exactly.
I remember you lift my spirit, with you high is all I'm feeling, remember.
Today we're going to be talking about how we were almost arrested and we had the police called on us at Whataburger.
There's something going on here. What's going on here?
It's grab hags, dude.
Grab hags.
Can we do the double meat Whataburger?
And I put in parentheses just so you know what you'll be voting on later. Remote pervs. And it's just right out there in the open in Chinese because no one's going to narc on each other, right?
This is a Whataburger. And what a burger it is.
Lesson number 1, your shoe will always fly off.
Why is this?
And we got the cops called on us and actually were questioned by the police. Yeah, because of your stupid contraption you made me wear.